nice crappy day here in Pennsylvania. I want to talk about the differences between my 14-foot dump trailer and my buddy Brett's. He has a YouTube channel, Brett Buckley. If you want to check out some of this equipment, it's on his channel. This is his 12-foot dump trailer by Appalachian. Mine is a 14-foot dump trailer by New Generation that's in a lot of my videos. And I'm going to go over some differences, some pros and cons. The biggest con with this trailer is this hitch right here. A ball hitch, not for me. If you have a backup camera on your truck or you install one, Brett put one, he has a video. He put a $30 Chinese camera on his truck and he has no problem backing up to the ball now. But for me, I have to get in and out of my truck like 5+ times to line it up, to drop it perfectly. Not for me. I have a Pintle hitch on mine, I'll show you. And with the Pintle, you just line up and back straight up till you hit it. And most of the time, you don't have to make a correction, sometimes a minor correction. But when you back into it, you can drop it down and good to go. It's got a little bit of slop in Pintle. There's they make some things that you can bolt on that takes the slop out of it, but I don't mind it. Hasn't been bad for me, but I'm not about ball hitches. They're no fun. I like that his toolbox is inside the frame. Mine, actually, I had a little incident with it, and I put an aftermarket one that sits on top of the frame. I think my last one was on top of the frame as well because it got into the truck. That's another story. But you can't even tell anymore. So with his is a 14,000 GVW. Mine's a 14,000 GVW. His was a good bit cheaper than mine. I believe he paid around $5,500 for this trailer, and I paid about $7,300 out the door for mine. For mine's a 14-foot, so it's only 2 feet longer, and which doesn't seem like a lot with this this trailer. 2 feet doesn't sound like a lot, but from backing them up and using them, it's a good bit. There's a couple different things that 2 feet either is more of a problem or more beneficial. The 14-foot's more beneficial if you haul equipment. So I'll try to include a little clip from a video where they brought their Kubota tractor to my place in this trailer. Actually, I brought it, but in this trailer, the Kubota tractor, the bucket hangs over the front, and I had an implement, an auger, post hole drill on the back. It was hanging over the back a little bit, so in my trailer, I'm going to put it in tonight, so I'll take some video of that. I'm going to bring the tractor down in my 14-footer so I can show you the actual difference with that. And here's that same Kubota in my 14-foot trailer, bucket down inside. It was hanging over the front of Brett's 12-footer. And that's hanging out a little bit, but it's not as crowded as it was in his. And we'll see. But with equipment, the 14-foot's a little bit better. This is great for firewood, and if you have maybe a F-150 or a 1500 or a Dodge 1500 half-ton, you could get a smaller trailer like this, or even a 10-footer. This trailer, this 12-footer, if you fill it up to the sidewall with firewood loosely thrown in, that would be a cord of wood. I've had a cord of wood that I've stacked and I've thrown in this trailer, and a cord of wood fills this trailer up perfectly. He's added a couple things. This isn't factory. He put this, he has a winch that a hand crank winch that he throws on there, and he can lift large logs up with it and set it in this trailer. His ramps are a little bit different. His lights, his ramps are underneath like that. They pull out. Mine are underneath also, but they're not in the frame. They kind of hang underneath it. They drag sometimes when tailgating. So that's a little bit different. They both have the barn door tailgate set up, so you can tailgate gravel or whatever, or you can open up barn doors. Other than that, they're pretty similar. other than the price and the 2 feet difference in length. Mine has a piece up here where you can mount a tarp and roll it out. I don't know if his has it. I'm sure they have some sort of tarp hookup for this trailer, but a different setup. You could throw boards in here. Mine has boards on the side just for hauling brush and things that are lighter. Comes in handy. I'm going to put this trailer up in the air. We're going to look at the actuators and how high it goes compared to mine, because one thing I don't like about my trailer, when it's all the way up, it needs to go a little bit higher to like get dirt and some material out of the trailer better. Mine has a plastic reservoir, his is steel. Everything else is pretty much the same in here. You can see the ramps underneath. Alright, so his actuators are large, just like mine. Single piston. Some of them have like telescoping actuators. So our actuators are similar. It's the same type. Nothing different there. What I like about his, with his being 2 feet shorter, he has more ground clearance. That's really nice. I think our trailers tilt about the same. His might actually be a little bit higher. I can't tell on that right now. I'll have to look at mine. This would be really nice for material coming out. You're not going to have as much held up in there. The ground clearance is huge. Mine, when I put it all the way up in the air, the back of the tailgate, or the back of the trailer is almost on the ground. It drags a lot when you're tailgating. So that's one benefit about the 12 foot. The material would come out of here pretty easy, and you got some ground clearance where mine doesn't. So that's it for this 12 footer. Next I'll show you my 14 footer. This is why I like the Pintle hitch. You just line it up and you back up till you hit it, and then you drop it. No lining up a ball where it has to be perfect, and this goes right on. That's the ticket. Crappy rainy fall day here in Pennsylvania. This is what we're used to. But here's my trailer. It's a 14-foot new generation I got from Leonard Truck and Trailer in Ohio, outside of Canfield. I don't think New Generation's in business anymore. It's been a good trailer for me. This box is from Tractor Supply. I put this on. It used to have a metal box that sat on top of the frame out here. It got into my truck one time in a delivery accident, we'll call it. Yeah, but dented up the other side of my bed, and didn't really mess the trailer up at all, but messed the box up. I took it off, mounted this one, swapped everything over into it, and it's been good ever since. The pintle hook I'm a big fan of on any heavy equipment, or any heavy equipment trailer, or they're just good, and they're rated for a lot of weight too. There is a little bit of slop. I said there's something you can put on your hitch though. My buddy has. He bolts it on, and it takes a lot of the slop out of the hitch. So mine has this rack up front. You can mount a tarp, a roll-out tarp system in there. I never got it. It has the spare tire mount. Never used it. I keep a spare tire in the bed of my truck. But I put the boards on. No big deal. It's 14,000 GVW like Brett's. It's a little bit longer. I mean, to me it looks a good bit longer than Brett's just looking at it, but it's 2 feet. But that 2 feet makes a lot of difference, and sometimes it hurts you a little bit. My ramps, I put them upside down. I used to have them the normal side, like down, and as you can see, this one drug and got bent. It should be bent up like this, but when it was flipped over, it hooked on the ground and something bent it, so now I keep them flipped upside down. I don't like where those are at. Those are not in a good spot. His were in the frame, so the frame will drag before the ramps do. Mine, the ramp bracket and the ramp sometimes drag the ground because I'm a little bit longer, so it gets lower to the ground than his. Mine has hooks that go in these. We're going to use them to put the tractor in here. D-rings in there. His have D-rings inside also for tie downs. Barn door, tailgates. My LED brake lights are up top. His are down in the frame. I do have the marker lights down there also. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to put it up in the air and show you guys the ground clearance difference. This is what it looks like inside. Similar. My reservoir's plastic. His was longer and metal. Marine grade batteries. I like my controller a little bit better than his. His seems like it's made a little bit cheaper, and this one's pretty solid. I did have a problem, one of the magnets fell out, but you can get another one. But this one's pretty solid and it's built fairly decent. His works fine, it just seems like it's a little bit not as heavy duty. So as you can see on mine, the actuators, same as his. A single style piston, pretty decent size. I'm not sure what the diameter of the actuators are. It's got, I didn't pay attention to his, it's got this safety thing that you can put up and set your trailer or set your dump down on it if you need to go underneath it for anything. One problem I have with mine that I'm going to probably put some welds on and some rubber or something is my actuators rub on the axle housing, so I need to take care of that before they get through the axle housing, just from having a lot of weight on there and rubbing. Actually, I just noticed this. I don't know why I've never noticed it before, but there's 3 holes here for the piston. I'm thinking I need to disconnect this these actuators and move them to the farthest hole, and I'll get that steepness that I need, because a lot of jobs my dump just doesn't go high enough. That it's good on gravel and stuff that slides easy, but dirt, firewood comes out, but you need something that puts the dump a little bit higher in the air. So I just noticed that I never paid attention to that. I have these other hole options that I can move the actuator to, and it could probably get a little bit more height out of the dump. So I think I'm gonna move those forward. Here's mine. I feel like it is not it's not as steep. It doesn't go up as high as his, but as we just saw, we can change that. So right here you can see my ground clearance isn't as much as his. With the ramps right there, you can see why they probably drag, especially when you have 5 tons on here. The springs are compressed and that rides pretty low to the ground. Sometimes this back bar and those ramps drag the ground while you're tailgating, so it would be nicer if it was a little bit higher off the ground. 2 feet shorter would take some of that, give you some more clearance also. So if I go higher, it's also going to bring that a little bit lower to the ground, but you don't have to use it all. It would just be more convenient when you're dumping a load of dirt or dumping firewood to get up a little bit higher. So I'm definitely going to move those actuators forward now that I see that. So that's how steep mine goes. I'm going to put the tractor in now, and I'll show you the difference between a Kubota tractor with a implement on the back and a loader, and his trailer versus my trailer. And here's that same Kubota in my 14-foot trailer, bucket down inside. It was hanging over the front of Brett's 12-footer. And that's hanging out a little bit, but it's not as crowded as it was in his. And I'm not saying my trailer's better than his. They both have their purpose. Like I said, if I'm hauling cords of firewood, I would rather have his trailer. Even gravel, 5 tons fits in there with plenty of room, and it's easier to maneuver than mine. Hauling equipment, I would rather have this trailer. They make a 16-foot, way too long. I wouldn't want anything to do with that. And they make a 10-foot, which would be good if you have like a half-ton pickup or anything, or you don't want to haul that heavy. I think the 10-footers are rated for less weight, smaller GVW, like 12,000 or less. But here's a 14-footer with the Kubota inside of it, with the auger on the back. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and check out Brett Buckley on YouTube if you want to see his trailer, this Kubota, and a Ranger, and a lot of other things that he has going on.